The great Ronald Reagan, during his first inaugural address, properly identified the cancer that was eating away at the American dream in the early 1980s.
In this present crisis, government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem. From time to time, we've been tempted to believe that society has become too complex to be managed by self-rule, that government by an elite group is superior to government for, by, and of the people. Well, if no one among us is capable of governing himself, then who among us has the capacity to govern someone else? Our government has no power except that granted it by the people. It is time to check and reverse the growth of government, which shows signs of having grown beyond the consent of the governed. All of us need to be reminded that the federal government did not create the states. The states created the federal government. Now, so there will be no misunderstanding, it's not my intention to do away with government. It is rather to make it work with us, not over us, to stand by our side, not ride on our back.
But that's exactly what government under Democrat control is doing today. Riding on the backs of the American people, destroying individual rights, prosperity, and security in the process. But Reagan was battling a Democrat party led by a good man, although misguided man, Jimmy Carter. Today, we're fighting a group of statists using Joe Biden as their figurehead who have as their intention the suspension of human rights and freedom and the imposition of totalitarian government rule over us. And there is no law that they will not break to achieve that anti-American goal. Government is still the problem. A wake-up call is featured in today's preamble. All the ills that have been foisted upon our people are courtesy of a federal establishment and some state governments that have decided they are no longer bound by the rules, the law, or the will of the American people. The pains we are suffering are not some plague born on the wind. They are a direct result of degenerates in the Democrat Party and cowards in the GOP who refuse to stand and stop them. Crime, illegal immigration, and the economy are all products of this dangerous cabal. The effects are profound, leading to massive economic losses, losses of liberty, and yes, loss of life. As we're coming into the 2024 election, we just had it confirmed that our government had a hand in election interference in the 2020 contest. It turns out that some of the disgraced and discredited intel officials who claimed the Hunter Biden laptop was Russian disinformation, it's been reported they are on the CIA's payroll. Let that sink in. President Trump's own CIA, the Pompeo-Haspel CIA, had these charlatans on the payroll. This is just one of the many revelations that have destroyed Americans' confidence in an increasingly hostile and untrustworthy government. But I want to focus on another aspect, one pillar of strength that is all but disintegrated under the Democrats' barbarous assault on our people: the erosion of the rule of law and the American justice system. President Trump isn't the only victim of Democrats' lawfare against our people, but he is the most high profile. When the crime without a victim ruling came down and President Trump was found liable for $455 million for doing what every other real estate investor has done, Americans began to see a weaponized Democrat justice system clearly.
There's never been a case like this in 75 years. Everything you just listed off is done by every real estate developer everywhere on earth in every city. This has never, ever been prosecuted. But here's the real point that people in New York should concern themselves with. You can put your money anywhere. I'm a real estate developer. Do you think there's a chance I would ever take a chance on New York again? New York is turning itself into a flyover state.
No chance in hell I'd risk anything in New York. Then when Alvin Bragg, the leftist DA in New York, took a state misdemeanor that had its statute of limitations expire and magically turned it into a federal felony, Americans watched in disbelief as the witnesses all contradicted the prosecution's case. The witnesses were revealed to have actually committed crimes, more significant crimes, and those crimes were overlooked by Democrats in order to level false accusations against Trump. This all happened while a Democrat donor masquerading as a judge stole President Trump's First Amendment rights to demand a redress of grievances from the very abusive government that was corruptly targeting him. The judge even went so far as to deny key witnesses for the defense and instructed the jury that they need not be unanimous on the charges to convict President Trump. Then a clearly anti-Trump jury found the president guilty, using the judge's insane criteria. On top of that, learned legal scholars to this day cannot define exactly what Trump was convicted of. This led to a few, arguably it should have been all, but a few Republicans to demand that the Supreme Court intervene in what even casual observers could see was a government-sponsored political prosecution. South Carolina Republican Congressman William Timmons introduced a resolution saying, quote, "There are multiple layers of reversible errors in Alvin Bragg's case against President Trump that demand SCOTUS intervention," end quote. Reversible errors is a kind way of saying the government broke many laws, violated President Trump's constitutional rights, and flushed down the toilet judicial norms that had been set since the founding of the Republic. Then there's the Georgia case. This mockery of American justice is proven to be a window into Democrat entitlement, abuse, and corruption. The case features Fani Willis, a social justice Soros warrior who paid her unqualified boy toy a massively inflated salary that they both exploited for lavish trips. Testimony even indicated the two shacked up at a taxpayer-funded safe house. President Trump's legal team is pushing to oust the Fulton County District Attorney from her crooked case. In a Monday court filing, the president's attorneys argued that Willis's conduct surrounding the trial, particularly her relationship with prosecutor Nathan Wade, are cause for her removal. And that leads us to the so-called classified documents case. The first example of government corruption in this case was the fact that the United States government, upon learning that Joe Biden was stealing classified information for over 4 decades, keeping those documents in unsecured locations, and that as a senator and vice president, Joe Biden was never entitled to have those documents, that same federal government proceeded to let Joe Biden off the hook, while the government simultaneously accused President Trump of possessing classified documents that he was legally able to possess under U.S. law. But revelations about the illegal activities undertaken by the federal government and the corrupt tactics they use to hide their crime, some might call it a conspiracy, should lead every American to call for the immediate disbandment of the agencies involved. The unworthy government that your politicians are forcing you to fund is responsible for tampering with evidence, mishandling classified information, and then lying to a court about all of it, all in an effort to get President Trump. Again, let that sink in. Your government was willing to break several laws to deny you your choice for president. But it doesn't stop there. Turns out that during the falsely predicated raid on Mar-a-Lago, the Merrick Garland Christopher Wray FBI turned off security cameras. They would have seen this very illegal, very crooked activity. In a filing from Inquisitor Jack Smith, the government stated that during the execution of the search warrant at approximately 9:55 a.m., the CCTV servers were turned off to prevent recording at the request of the FBI. They claimed this was done to protect the agents. That might be true. It was protecting them from getting caught while they surreptitiously added cover sheets to documents before taking photographs for evidence. A seemingly clear-cut case of government evidence tampering, which is 100% illegal. Reagan feared a government that was in danger of growing beyond the consent of the governed. And let me assure you, folks, we are there. The federal government under Democrat rule has grown beyond the consent of our people. This happened because we have sent politicians continually to Washington, D.C., who frittered away their power and responsibility under that Constitution. All well and good if it only hurt them. Sadly, it hurts all of us. The solution isn't very complicated. We, the people, must elect individuals who will recapture that constitutional power on our behalf, rein in the lawless government by defunding it, and restore the confidence of our people and the promise that used to be the United States of America. Our people should remember this above all. We are right to demand a constitutionally limited government, and we outnumber them.